Welcome to Books, Brews, and Besties. I'm Kaylee.
I'm Jenny.
And we have our brew. Do you?
I was going to show you this side and then realize that it was both the same. So,
oh yeah,
I think
mine's very full, but it says Cancer.
Is that your horoscope star sign thing?
Yeah. Anyways, in one of our other episodes, we were talking about how we don't want to buy big box store drinks or whatever.
Yes.
So I was like, well, I'll make us some coffee today on our own. But anyways, so this episode is going to be the last books that Jenny and I read in 2023, as in the single last book that we got to finish before 2023 ended. So, Jenny, I want you to go first since
I read it in like one day, like maybe over 8-ish hours. I think I tried to read like the first couple pages the night before, but then really sat down and then just read it. And then I was like, oh, well, it's only 8. I could just keep reading. And then I was like, no, it's only like 9. I'll just keep going. And I was trying to do like a live, not live,
reaction,
but like a little reaction after every now and then. But
yeah, so make sure to go look at our Instagram and TikTok pages for her reaction videos.
On TikTok, I compiled them all into one. It's a little long to watch it, but it's quite funny because I'm just like, oh my God. I don't know. I think I was expecting more.
More?
Yeah, more. I was just like, okay, I know it's a thriller, and I was like, something spooky stuff's gonna, like, it built me up, and I was prepared to just be like, what is happening? Oh my gosh, like, you know, maybe, spoilers ahead, maybe everyone dies, but they don't. And I was like, maybe that's what will happen.
Do you want to give like a summary kind of the book for the peeps?
Okay, so Verity by Colleen Hoover. It's definitely a thriller, and she is the main girl. She's an author, an aspiring author who's published a couple of small books. Obviously wants to do bigger things, but it's just life, isn't it? Life. And then she moves, she gets an interview, which on the way to the interview, somebody steps out in front of a bus to cross the crosswalk, and gets hit by a truck or a lorry, something hits this person. Anyway, sprayed with blood, whole thing. This guy's like, come with me to the bathroom and I hope you get cleaned up. Which I definitely was going with, that he was the one that totally like pushed this guy to like get her. I thought I was spiraling with a whole.
You're like, everything means something.
I know, a whole thriller, and I was like, oh my God, this is a bad guy. Oh my God. Anyway, and then they get cleaned up and everything. He's like, yeah, bye, you know, and carries on walking. And then she's going to this publishing office to have her meeting. It turns out that guy who just helped her is there in the meeting, and it's a whole thing. But neither of them ever speak about it. They never speak about it. That whole day is just one and done. Just someone gets squished in front of you and blood everywhere, and they just don't speak about it again. I was like, okay, this is very odd. And then basically his wife is like incapacitated from a car accident, basically. And doesn't really can't do anything. And she is a good author. I mean, I guess they're all good, but
very well known
and published and selling books and all this. And they hire her to come on to finish this book series that needs to be written. And he's like, yeah, come and stay at the house and you can go through all of the stuff and you can learn everything you want. And then it's a lot of figuring out like what's wrong with the house and what's happening in the house.
Because things are happening. I read this book probably a year ago now. It's funny to hear you talking about it because I'm like, oh yeah, that did happen. I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but like once you read a book, even if it's so good, it's gone. Like sometimes
things hang on.
Sometimes I just completely forget. Like if you were to ask me before you read this what all happens, I'd be like, it was good and I finished it in a day and I really liked it afterwards, but now I don't think I could tell you a bunch of details. Like I remember how it ends because I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
And I never got to read the bonus chapter to that because there's a bonus chapter that like flips things, I've heard.
Yes.
But
hang on, you didn't read that bit?
No. Does that book have the bonus chapter in it?
How did you end it? How was the ending for you?
The ending for me was...
This is major ending spoilers.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Super here.
The ending for me was that the wife was the one doing all the shit in the house, and she was like able to get up and move around, and she had like a thing in the floor, and Chick saw it on the camera or whatever, and like ran up there and whatnot.
Yeah.
And that was like the ending, and there was like a letter that the original author wrote saying that everything that she thought happened, like the murdering the kids and everything, that wasn't real. Like she just wrote that trying to get into the character, or like into her mind, or
it
whatever.
Was
reverse psychology or something.
They called it something.
Yeah, but that was the end. It was like ending with like the letter and
that she wouldn't. And then I'm like, well, what's true though? Is that true? Because the guy obviously read her manuscript of what was happening in the house, or what was happening with her, and that she was trying to kill one of her own children. And he believes it's true. We obviously figured out that it's not actually true, and that she wrote it like that to like get through her postnatal depression and all of that, and flipped it around. But then he read it and has believed that what she actually wrote was actually the truth.
Yeah.
But was it actually the truth, and she's just written this to scapegoat herself? I mean, I don't know. The kids die, by the way. Most of them die. I mean, spoilers, you know.
That's what I thought was going to make you cry. I thought that was going to... I don't understand your brain. I don't understand at all. Kids actually dying did nothing for you, but like a woman dying who was a psychopath, that really tore you up.
Yeah, but
makes sense.
Oh, but it's like, I would probably be really upset if we got through Oceans in the light, that house, whatever that one was.
Wow.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. The Light Between Oceans. If we had got through that, and like at the end, the little girl dies, so neither of the mums get the kid, I would have been curled up in a ball, like crying for days. That would have got me good.
But children being murdered, that's fine. I can handle that.
Well, I'm also like, were they really murdered, you know? Because I was like, I wasn't really sure what was going on, to be honest. I was definitely thinking the dad was the bad guy, but then it was like, oh, the mum's the bad guy, but then the mum isn't the bad guy.
But yeah, so apparently there's like a secret extra chapter that some of the editions have. It's the gold, like it's like a cream color book. It's got the extra chapter.
Yeah, and this doesn't. Then it just has a list of people.
Yeah, no. So
I want to read the extra chapter now. I'll have to go to the bookstore and just read the last one.
I've thought about going to the bookstore and just reading it, but it's been so long now. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't matter to me anymore. But
it does. Maybe we'll find it online.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. I was just definitely in a horror thriller, going through it, thinking that people are going to die left, right, and center. She's going to be trapped. It's going to be a horror murder house. I was like way up there, and I'm like, what's going to happen? The woman at the top of the stairs. Oh my god!
It was not that. It's not that bad.
No, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
She's got so this author, people are trying to cancel her or whatever. Like there's a big uproar about it, and it's like she's one of those authors to where if you say that you've read her books or whatever, people will say that you're not a real reader, or that like they don't want to follow you or talk to you because you read her books and blah 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 blah. Like there's a huge base of people that are just very like anti Colleen Hoover, because she writes about like a lot of her books have like domestic violence in it and stuff. And I think what a lot of people forget, and they don't like that she's making money off of like domestic violence stories and stuff, but I think what a lot of people forget is that she's writing stories based off of something that happened to her mom. Like her mom went through that, and so that's like her way of putting what happened and how she was raised and like what she saw and stuff, putting into books and whatnot. But people obviously still get pissed and are like, you're romanticizing it, even though like people who are in those situations literally think that they're like the best people in the world and go back time and time again. So it's just like reality. It's reality that people can't handle. But anyway, so yeah, this like it's just so annoying because I feel like she's got like good palate cleanser books.
Yeah.
And easy reads. Like
I mean, I read it in like 8 hours.
Yeah.
I just couldn't stop because I was like, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
So I think this could be a genre that I love.
Thriller?
It's not as big as fantasy. Fantasy is my number one, unless you've surprised me with something else. But actually,
I don't know. When you read partials, we'll see. We shall see.
We shall see. But Verity Hole was really interesting, and it really got me being. It was like a puzzle in a different way, and I know that's more of a psychological thriller, and this was more of a thriller. But it's really one of those. I cannot stop reading it, and I need to turn the page because what is going to happen? Which, if it was a movie, like a horror thriller, I probably wouldn't have the same effect because I just go no. But reading it,
that's how I was reading it too. I literally started it at like 6 p.m, and I stayed up until like 2 a.m. because I literally. That wasn't a word.
That was not.
I literally had to finish it that night.
Yeah.
Because I was so engrossed with it. I did. So this is like a very not her brand type of book. This was her first time ever writing thriller. And then she also has, it was such a weird read. It's called Layla. And it's like a paranormal romance book. And it actually, so the entire book, I read it, and even though I was like, what the fuck am I reading? I still pushed through and read it all the way through. And I will say the very end of that book made me love the whole book because of what happens at the end. But the entirety of the book, I'm like, what the actual hell? Because it's like he's falling in love with a ghost or whatever. And it's fucking weird. Like, it was the first time I ever read paranormal anything. And I haven't read anything since then because my thought process throughout the whole thing was, this is weird.
Yeah.
Before I got to the...
That was my it just growled at me. And I was like, you don't like the end of the drink? Okay.
Yeah. Before I got to the ending, which makes everything make sense. But if it was just a regular, like, ghost to human love, I don't know if I could do that. So I haven't dove into any other paranormal books since then.
Can I just say, sorry, raising my hand here. Can I you read some really weird books about pillows and balloons. I just don't know how that a ghost can be too far for you. I'm just not sure. I'm gonna.
How dare you bring that up right now? I totally forgot.
I was like, but the ghost is too far.
It like discredits everything I just said because you're so right.
Balloon animals? Yay. Ghosts? No. We should make you some stickers like balloon animals.
We need to make an episode about
I need to read them.
I need to get them back from Stephanie so bad. You made me cry. That was hilarious. That was a fair and valid point though. Because now I'm gonna have to give one a chance because I can't not read it now.
It sounds good though. It sounds a bit like there's a Christmas movie that my auntie in particular loves. My brother was just talking about it a couple of weeks ago, and it's where the ghost though is the guy, and it's a Christmas movie, and they fall in love, and then he gets a chance to come back as a real human or leave.
Casper?
No.
Casper comes back as a real boy.
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone had a crush on Casper when we were all young. And if you didn't, you're a liar.
Oh, the Spirit of Christmas. Thank you.
Oh, you know what? I think I have seen that.
Yeah, and it's really sweet. It's a really lovely movie, actually. I mean, it's weird, and he's trying to figure out who killed him, and it's a little bit like a murder mystery.
I think I.
That one's cute. That one is making me think about that book.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about that anymore because you embarrassed me.
That's what I'm here for.
I'm like angry. Anyways, so how do you feel about that being your last book of 2023 then? Do you feel like it ended on a good note or ended on a bad note? It
did. I mean, I tried to get through a couple of other books before the end, but that will lead us on to our next topic of conversation. But it was pretty good, actually. I liked that it was a quick read and I got through it and I completed a whole book in like a day. I've never done that. So I thought that was really cool.
Oh, so first.
Yeah. My first and the last, all in one go.
I actually have an idea that I wanted to You know what? Let's just hash it out on here. So I was thinking that we should do like a Books, Brews, and Besties like bingo card. And for 2024, we have to check off things.
Love it.
And then if we get a bingo or whatever, I don't know what we get because of that, but we should do something silly or something, or get something, I don't know, or maybe do a giveaway or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, but we need to.
And the loser has to do something crazy too.
Yeah, there are no details hashed out whatsoever, but I was like, that would be cute. I saw a video on TikTok last night. Someone did a bingo card for football. Like every time her spouse would do like something, she would do, and then she would chug after she got the bingo or whatever, her beer. And I was like, that would be so cute to do it like a book version of it. So yeah. Anyways, all right.
I like it.
Do you have any other last thoughts about your Verity?
I don't think so, but I am definitely intrigued to read some more of her books. I know you said that this was like her only romantic thriller type book, so I'm intrigued.
I've got many of her other ones on
my I might take one, but if they're quick reads.
They all are.
We have an entire TBR list that needs to be read.
All right, so my last book of 2023 was A Ruin of Roses, and do not be fooled by all of these tabs. I freaking hated this book. This is only tabbed because me and this book pen pal girl that I have, we did a swap where this was on my Amazon wish list, and I got one off of hers. We both read each other's books first, annotated it, wrote our notes and everything, and then sent each other the book so that we could read their thoughts and stuff while we read it. So that's why all of these are here. If I simply was reading this, there would be nothing, because this book was freaking terrible.
Let me read the back. Read it as you keep going.
Cannot tell you how much I hated this book. And it has so much potential. So it's A Ruin of Roses by K.F. Breene. It had amazing reviews. It's like a 4-star book, whatever. And then I went on Goodreads, and that's where the truth lies, people. Because it did not have 4 stars. But it's like a Beauty and the Beast dark retelling, or it's supposed to be a dark retelling. And the storyline would be good if it was written well. And it reminded me of the would you rather scenario, where we're like, would you rather read a terrible story with good writing or a good story with terrible writing? This would be a good story with terrible writing. And I would not want to read it. So if I don't remember what I answered, but I picked the opposite because this is a terrible experience. But so Finley is our main girl character, and she's taking care of her father and her 3 siblings, her brother and then little brother and little sister, whatever. And they are in this village. She likes to read. And then there is a Gaston version. His name is Jedred or something like that, which I hate that name because it's hard to say.
How do you spell it?
J. Edred. I don't know. No, J. It's Jedred. Jedrick. That's what it is. Jedrick. But anyways, he's the Gaston version, and
Jedrick.
Yeah, and so the village is cursed by a demon. They can't leave their village. If they do, they die. And then there's a forbidden wood that has this everlast plant, and this everlast plant. And part of the curse is people at a certain age, they get sick and they start to die. And so she created this concoction with this everlast plant, which is technically like a weed to everyone else. And it suppresses their death. So they survive a lot longer than anyone in any of the other villages that are cursed as well.
Yeah.
And her village has the most like success rate of survival. And the beast, who is what's his name? I actually like his name.
Ooh. I think it was on the very back.
How is his name not anywhere? Knifin. Whatever. I don't know. I like the name. But so he's the beast. He was a dragon shifter, but the demon cut off his wings. And
a bit like Maleficent.
I've never.
And gets her wings. She's okay. And that's what makes her evil.
Yeah, so he got his wings cut off, and the curse suppresses and everyone in the village are supposed to be shifters, but they can't reach their animals because of the curse. It suppresses their ability to shift. So Finley has never met her animals. She doesn't even know what it is, doesn't know even how to get the power or whatever. And the beast, Nifan, he is the protector of the village, sort of say, or supposed to be. Everyone thinks he's like bad and this evil dude, and if they go into the forest, he'll kill them. So anyway, she goes into the forest and takes everlast plants because that's where a big, like, healthy abundance is of them. And he catches her stealing them. And so her debt for stealing is to live at his castle, which is beyond the Forbidden Forest. That is where we meet Hadriel, who is a hilarious character. I actually love him. He's hilarious.
It's reminding me of the clock and the candlestick.
Yes.
Kind of.
Yes.
Maybe, yeah. Okay.
The castle is overrun with all the demons, and it's pretty much just like an orgy every day, all day, because they've been stuck there for 16 years and they can't do anything. So there's a lot of spiciness happening and a lot of weirdness because they're all dressed up in like animal costumes, and there's just like a lot going on. Knifean and Finley grow closer, but also kind of not, because he's very broody and thinks that he's the reason his mom died, and there's like a whole backstory or whatever. She tries to run away, then he gets poisoned trying to save her. She saves him, kind of, and then he leaves, and that's how the book ends, is he ups and leaves after drugging them so that they can't wake up and stop him from leaving, because he wants to go get killed by the demon so that the curse can be done. And that's how the book ends, which makes me want to read the next one because I want to know what happens, kind of. But literally, like, it sounds like a good story, I know, but the writing is so insanely terrible, I cannot even explain it. Like,
the passion right
now. It drives me crazy. Like, Finley is so annoying, and she's always talking to like a crowd of people. And like, so, and it's annoying. So like, anytime something happens, she's like, hold on to your pants, folks. We're going for a ride. And
that's not good.
I'm like, shut the fuck up. And she does it all the time. And then further into the book, because of Knifean, because I think they're going to be fated mates. It's not talked about in this book like that they are. I think that's how it's going to go. His animal brings out her. So hers is like able to talk to her now and stuff. And every time Finley talks to the crowd of people that isn't there, her animal's like, who are you talking to? Like, this is so weird. Why can't I pick my own human? And it's just stupid. Like, it's almost like the author was trying really, really, really hard to be funny or like make her sassy or like snarky just from like the things that Finley's always saying, except it's coming off as like really cringy and annoying to where you just want her to stop talking. So yeah, and then also her and Knifean's relationship, it's just, it doesn't make sense. Like, the author is trying to make him broody and be like, oh, stay away from me, I'll ruin you. But then literally he's not leaving her alone, which is fine if it was written well, but it's not. Like, in one paragraph, he's saying like a super sweet thing, which in any good written book would be wonderful, but then it's followed by terrible writing and like something completely opposite. So it's almost like she lost track of what was actually supposed to be going on in this relationship and just goes back and forth. I don't know. I hated it so much. But I really love the cover. The cover is gorgeous. Okay. And the storyline has so much potential to be good. It's just not. And yeah.
All right, folks. So I'm going to go with maybe that's not a well-recommended book from us then.
No, I would not recommend reading this at all. But I
kind of want to read it just to see what it's like.
I was about to say, I will probably end up eventually getting the rest just because I have to know what happens. But I read all the reviews on the rest, and like everyone gives it 4 stars because of how smutty it is. And it's like, okay, so you don't care about the plot then.
No.
Because clearly there's no way, if you care about plot and not just spicy scenes, there's no way you'll like this book. But if you don't really care about plot or like things that are well written, you'll love this book. Because it's got spice. And it's got a few good like paragraphs to where it makes you fall in love with the beast. But other than that, it's really annoying and very, very poorly written. And yeah, I just hated it. I hated it.
I definitely like a little bit of spice, but I don't need it to be its main drive, you know?
Yeah, and I'm not super fond. Like, some of these spice scenes were good.
Okay.
But then others, like the word choices that she used and stuff, because she was trying to be a certain way. I don't know how to explain it. Like, you'll just have to read it in order to understand. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just not super thrilled with it.
I'm gonna probably take that home.
Go for it. I don't even care if I get it back. Like, this is
gonna be my first read of 2024.
I'm sorry. But but was it last night I texted you because you were like, I kind of want to read it, and I was like, watch you love it, like just watch you love it, and I hate it so much. I hate it though. I hate it so much. But I did try because I did not want to leave 2023 off on a bad note reading wise, even though I did because my next venture, I was trying to finish this book, The All I Want for Christmas by Maggie Knox. And I had started this the same time that I started A Ruin of Roses. And it took a little while to get into because this is very like palate cleanser book. Okay. And I just was not, I also wasn't in the mood to like read. Yeah. And I was trying too hard to read multiple books. But now I sat down last night and I told myself I was going to finish it. I did not finish it, but I did read until like 11 o'clock. But I got about halfway and I really like it now. Okay. There's a lot going on behind these characters and I like it. It's so sweet. I would reread it again for sure. So yeah, if you want, this is a really cute book. It's about two singers who are on a competition. They have really good chemistry, so they get paired together, but they actually hate each other. And then because they have to spend so much time with each other, they actually see the real side of each other and they start to fall. And then something terrible happens after something great happens and they don't talk for a year.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah, and that's where I'm at right now. So now I'm like, I have high.
They must get back together.
They better. But it's very realistic, like, yeah, which is what I like about it because people have a lot of stuff hidden that you don't really know. And that's kind of what these two characters are finding out about each other. And then also like miscommunication and jumping the gun of what you think someone's reacting to can cause a really bad effect, which is kind of what happens to them is she's going through something and after this big competition and he thinks it's about something he did during the competition. And so he won't let her like leave, even though she's got something way more important. I don't want to spoil it for anyone. She's got something way more important to go and she's like crying and he just won't leave her alone. And so she like freaks out on him. And he goes to Canada and that's why they don't talk for a year because he like isolates himself thinking that he's like a piece of shit and stuff. And she like tries to reach out, but really just like through calls and texts and like just gives up and like goes on tour and stuff and does her own thing.
I mean, if they've only just met and decided to get to know each other, I'd be like, okay, if he's not going to respond to my text, so go on, done then. But okay, I don't know how deep they got.
Yeah, I was about to say, you have to read it. It's just I don't know but it's very realistic because that's stuff that happens to people all the time, like jumping the gun and thinking that it's something on you, like you're the victim in the way, even though they're probably going through something. So I like how real it is so far. But yeah, so I was hoping this was going to be my last read of 2023, but it's not.
You got this one.
That was. And to anyone who likes it, like, good for you. I just don't know how. That's
you wait, because honestly, I'll probably end up liking it.
I would not put it past you to like it.
It's okay, I'm on it.
But I hate it.
Didn't your book pal? She seems to quite like it, right?
Yeah.
I had such a great time annotating this book, so.
Yeah.
And you enjoyed this book and everything like that. So, okay, if she liked it, you didn't like it, so.
You know what? I'm going to ask her. I'm going to be like, why? Why did you like it? Like, how did you? I need to understand. And actually, if you did like this book, please comment why and how you liked it, because maybe that will open my mind up to more quickly going into the second book. Because right now I have a thing where I have to read the whole series. Like I'm just gonna have to, even though
can't we just
I know
the rest of the season and you know then you don't have to read it.
I have to. I have this little obsessive tick to where if I start a book and it's in a series, I have to have the whole series and I have to read it because it can't be unfinished. It's crazy. I know that it is, but I still have to. Like A Court of Roses, The Thorns and Roses or whatever. Hated that book too, but I have to have them all.
I know, we'll have to do that. I'm thinking probably the second half of it. I was going to say next year, but it's now this year.
Today is the first year.
Day of the year.
Yeah. Shush.
It's okay.
I can't. I'm too hyped up on my hatred.
Yeah, I'm thinking we've got our next book series to go, and then a couple of TBRs all in between.
Yeah, we've got a lot.
I'm very excited to start that too.
Same. That is our last reads of 2023. Yep. We hope that you enjoyed this.
There's no words to describe what this is, but
yeah, I mean,
it's just books. Brews and besties.
Yeah. I'm excited to finish this one because then I'll start 2024 off.
Yeah.
Good, hopefully, unless what I want doesn't happen, and then I'm gonna be like, fuck everything.
This book is gonna determine the year for you.
Yes.
We'll keep you posted.
Yes. But anyways, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching if you're on YouTube or Patreon. And we hope you have a great day.
Bye. Happy New Year.